So you have a coated car, you want to re-ceramic coat it, this is the video for you. 2 towels, your ceramic coating kit, and you are ready to go. I'm Nick.
I'm Ivan, and Nick is a little wrong here. You have a previously ceramic coated car like this one. We've washed it, we've decontaminated it.
So we're ready.
You need to polish it to abrade the existing ceramic coating. Whatever protection you might have on the vehicle, be it a wax, be it a sealant, be it a coating, it needs to be abraded or needs to be removed before putting a coating on.
People think you need to remove a ceramic coating, but I can't see the coating, Ivan. How do I know if it's there? It can be a rabbit hole, and we have an elegant solution.
Right. All you need to do is abrade it. Now, if it's a wax or a sealant, 1 pass of the polish, they're gone. A coating is not going to leave with just 1 or 2 passes of polish, but that's all we need to abrade it for the new coating to bond to it.
So we need to polish it after decontaminating it and polish it before coating. What happens if I don't polish and I decide I washed it, I decontaminated it, I just want to coat?
Your coating will probably not last as long as you expect it to be and won't perform as well.
If you're okay with the lack of longevity and potentially impacted performance, but you still want it to be slick and bead water today, you can put the coating on, right?
Right, but in that case, you might as well just put NV ceramic detail spray on because it's going to give you about the same effect.
Got it. Does it matter what pad we use to polish?
Yes, you don't want to use our red waffle pad. It's not aggressive enough. So we need, at a minimum, our gold or our yellow waffle pad. And that's what I have set up on our 25mm DA. Brand new pad. I'm going to wash it first to get it nice and damp because we never work with a dry pad. So a couple sprays of rinseless, run it through the pad washer, and 1 spray of the gold standard polish.
Why would you want to ceramic coat a car if it's already got a coating on it, Ivan?
The coating is starting to fail in areas, or you just want a coating that performs better than what you have.
I like to coat my car once a year because I'm crazy like that.
You can.
You don't need to, it's not necessary. But if you're like me, put in the comments below.
People like to try different coatings, live with it a year, enjoy it, and then move on. In this case, we're just lightly abrading it. The other important thing is here, we're not removing any clear coat. We're removing the coating, or we're abrading the coating. So if it is something you want to do on a yearly basis, this is actually pretty good, pretty safe.
You're not going to remove a lot of clear coat here.
No, because the coating, hopefully a good coating, harder than the clear coat. So all we're doing is attacking the coating, not the clear coat underneath it.
How many passes do we need to do here? I don't think we're trying to achieve any defect removal. We're trying to abrade the coating. What should I be thinking about?
So 3 passes, left, right, up, down, left, right. Take a rinseless damp towel, wash it off.
Now, it's worth noting that my pad's kind of dark.
Right.
Like, there was stuff here to work with. What am I looking at here?
That's dirt. So even though we've decontaminated, we've done a deep dive in that form, and you can see that video down below. There's always embedded dirt in paint that even decontamination can't remove. That's where the polishing happens, and that's why it brightens the paint up every time we polish a vehicle. Not only are we making the surface a little flatter, but at the same time, we're deep cleaning.
Yeah, I always like to remind folks that polishing is deep. It is a deep cleaning step.
Yep.
And it's so important.
Now, I like to wipe off as I go. Nick likes to leave his residue on the surface because it's a way for him to know where he's been and where he has to go. There we have it, almost ready for a new coating.
I like to do that, Ivan, but I'm gonna wipe off just because if I wasn't here on camera, I would want to see what it looks like.
Yep.
I would just kind of want to inspect. Is this going to give me the satisfactory results? Because I know we talk about abrading a coating and we're not going after scratches. I did notice that there was some light water spotting on the horizontal surface of the hood, and I'm the kind of person who's like, I don't want to coat over water spots. I just want to see, what does this look like? Is the yellow pad enough?
Yeah.
If it wasn't enough for me, I mean, is wool too crazy to be doing on a coated car, or?
No, or you could do another pass.
Okay.
But the water spots, by the way, are long gone. You're talking about water spot etching.
Yeah,
we use water spot remover on it, so the minerals are gone. Now we just have potential etching left behind. And on my side, the etching is completely gone.
On my side as well. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see that because I'm the kind of person where I'd probably do the whole dang car and then freak out and then wonder, do I have to do the whole car again once I wiped it? So, you know, I'll do my test spot, I'll assess. Oh, this paint looks fantastic, Ivan.
Yeah.
We've cleaned it, we removed the etching of the water spots. It looks awesome and it's ready for coating. Well, not just yet, right? But
no, we have another step before coating, but let's polish the car up. We'll come back to you with that next step. Always important to polish the glass. It'll make it easier to clean in the future, and of course, easier to see out of too. People don't realize how much dirt accumulates on their windshield.
There's a lot of just dirt accumulated on this car, Ivan.
Yeah. Big shout out to all our friends in Australia. We have some great distributors there, lots of fans, and people using DIY detail products. You guys will recognize this. That's the Holden symbol. When you see your polish bunching up like this on the surface, that means it's time to clean your pad. See how it's all bunched up? And it's only happening on the trunk, so there may be something going on with this trunk that we're not sure of. If you look at the pattern on the glass here, that's the way the pattern should look like. If we look at it on here, it's all bunched up. And if I look at my pad, this is what happened after just going over the trunk. Time to clean the pad and repolish this trunk. Even with a second pass, I'm getting a little on here. So I'm gonna do something that we don't normally do, but this could be an LSP that's gone wrong, a wax that they put on to try, who knows. I'm going to use our panel prep to remove this and then start over again. Rinseless dampened towel to get the polish residue off. We'll spray a panel prep. Look what's coming up on the panel prep. The towel's brown. So there's something on this particular trunk lid. Again, they could have tried an LSP, they could have put a wax over top of dirt, who knows? So let me clean it again with the panel prep. Deep clean this area. Again, more brown coming up. So there's definitely something here. Let me polish again to get through this before moving on to the next step. There we have it, all taken care of. Time to move on to the next section.
So I've got a Rotary and the yellow pad, which we haven't used in a video in a couple of years because it's not how we usually recommend to use it. But I'm noticing some water spot accumulation on these windows, Ivan. And you always say you can do edge work with the dual action polisher. I love doing edge work right up into these spots with my Rotary. It spins in one direction, and I like the aggressivity of the yellow waffle. So I'm gonna do it first, and then let's hear 7 reasons why I shouldn't do it, okay, Evan?
Yep.
All right, I'll show you how I'm doing it. So I'm getting into these edges right here.
So, take a look first at Nick's edge work, and then come see mine.
So I was able to get my polish all into these corners, and I know we can do it with the dual action. And this comes down to the fact that I just prefer this.
Right.
And you can use the Rotary drilling pad, but again, there's just enough mineral accumulation with some water spotting that I was like, maybe I didn't use the least aggressive method first. I usually would use the jeweling pad here, but I had the yellow pad. I'm like, let me just try it, you know? And as long as it's speed 1, flat pad, no pressure on the edges, but just working the edges. I just like the precision there, Ivan.
Yeah, and come take a look on my side, see if my edge work, and we'll let you guys decide. So, I got into all the corners, just as well as Nick, all the way up to the edge with the DA. you don't need to be switching machines. It's just taking extra time, wasting time. But Nick likes to play with more machines.
I was gonna say, I like to take extra steps and take more time, so it's on brand for me.
Yep.
And good thing is, Ivan, we have options for you if you want that. We have a cord-free rotary and a cord-free dual action polisher. And with the rotary, again, it's low speed, right? Speed 1, your lowest RPMs, flat pad when you can, and just a light tilt into the edges.
Yeah, same with me.
Just as a reminder, Ivan, this is what was coming off with my dual action on the first window. I knew I had a lot of accumulation on the window. So when I'm dealing with glass that has water spotting, and I don't want to just polish it perfectly, but leave a corner just like totally untouched.
Yeah.
That's again when I think of grabbing the rotary. I do like the precision on the edgewood.
Now, the other thing is, that's actually not from the glass, Nick. That's from you going up against the trim.
That's the trim?
Yeah, same on my side.
Yeah.
Now I've cleaned my pad, still rather dark. I'm not concerned about that. I've cleaned the pad. Any grit is out of it. This is staining from the oxidation from the trim. As I work through the car, the staining will diminish every time I clean the pad. Now, I'm at the end of this. Remember how black my pad was at the back of the vehicle? Now it's back to a brand new clean pad, just from polishing and keeping cleaning the pad. So if your pad gets stained, don't stress out, just keep working. All done, now ready for the app. How about on your side, Nick?
Almost all wiped off, Ivan.
How come you were so quick this time?
Sylvie wiped it off for me.
Ah, okay, you had some help.
Otherwise, I'd still be wiping. The paint's sure looking shiny, Ivan.
It's looking shiny, it's nice and clean, but we have one more step, and that is the adhesion promoter polish. Now, we could use our panel prep, but unfortunately, once you've tried adhesion promoter polish, you're probably not going to use panel prep anymore. And panel prep's still a great product. I actually used it on the trunk to help break through that stuff that was on there. Couldn't figure out what it was. We don't know the full history of the car, so we couldn't tell you. But what we do know is we got rid of it.
I actually used the wool pad with gold standard polish, and then I just did a quick finishing pass with the yellow, so it looked the same pretty much. I don't know if that's kosher by Ivan, but I heard you talking about all the gunk you were working with, and I was like, I'm not gonna waste any time dealing with all that. But it is very telling. When you see that clumping up, it tells you time to clean the pad.
Yeah. Speaking of clean pad, this is a clean, dry pad with the adhesion promoter polish. There's an exception to every rule. This is the exception. We use a dry pad here. Now, I just need enough speed for backing plate rotation, and I'm not polishing with this. I'm moving it across the surface. As long as I get the full surface covered, that's all I need to do. And the nice thing about the jeweling pad, it gets in all these little areas on the vent. There's not an area missed.
For the folks who are more comfortable with a panel prep before ceramic coating, what would you tell them about adhesion promoter polish? They may not have a palm sander at home. They may not want an extra product in their lineup.
Right.
They may be skeptical about your adhesion promoter polish talk.
Panel prep is still a great product. There's nothing wrong with it. But like I said, once you've seen what the app can do for you, and what it does for you is make the coating a lot easier to apply. It also gives you more gloss, more depth, and more durability from your coating because it's lightly swelling the paint. And in that light swelling, what we're doing is allowing the coating to go in the paint instead of on the paint.
You can level this right away, you can level this in an hour, you can apply and level in direct sunlight. Adhesion promoter polish is not a complicated step-by-step process. It's simply get it on with the red pad, wipe it off at your convenience. I like to have 2 towels, sometimes Nick's favorite app removal towel, also known as the Mr. Twister towel, also known as Nick's favorite glass towel. But the Freebird 400 works great as well. We happen to have all of our Nick's favorite glass towels are dirty right now, and so the Freebird 400 works great as well. Just making sure with 2 towels, I knock it down with 1 towel, and I do my final inspection pass with the other.
One other thing I really enjoy about the app is the fragrance. It's actually not an added fragrance, it's just part of the recipe. It has tea tree oil in it, and it has a characteristic little fragrance that's nice. Almost minty fresh. Now, so far I've gone around all the upper portion of the other side of the vehicle, the hood, the trunk lid. And I'm still putting app on the surface, so I don't need to add more to my pad. Less is definitely more when dealing with the app. Now, we get a lot of comments on YouTube. We read all your comments, we answer all your comments. And one of those comments is some people have had issues applying app. The reasons you can be having issues with applying app is A, not using the right pad. A flat pad is not going to work properly. Secondly, is using too much adhesion promoter polish. Too much is never better. The other thing is using the wrong machine. We have a Rotary, we have a 25 millimeter in our lineup. Why aren't we using those? Because it overactivates the adhesion promoter polish. You need between a 2 and 9 millimeter stroke dual action. Now I've run through the pad. I'm going to add 2 small drops. That's all I need. Start doing the sides.
Ivan, you're the father of app. Is this like a primer polish?
No.
It seems like it's a primer polish. You're polishing onto the paint, getting it ready for a coating. Primer seems like something I've heard of before.
Right, primer polishes fill. This cleans. There's no filling going on here. Actually, quite the opposite of filling. Now, one complaint we do get about app, and it's somewhat founded, is that the bottle is too big, because the little goes a very, very long way. There are other uses for app. So if you're only coating one car, of course, one bottle might be a little too much, share it with a friend. But it's also great for renewing a coating once in a while. So every year or so, do a deep decontamination and do exactly what I'm doing here. A quick pass, it'll deep clean that coating and that paint. The other thing is, it's great for preparing before sealant and a wax as well. Now, some of you have suggested that we should have a smaller bottle of app. Unfortunately, it would probably cost you more, and it definitely costs you more per ounce for the small bottle than the 16-ounce size we have. Because, unfortunately, the way our manufacturing is set up, it's set up for 16-ounce bottles. We don't have a filling machine, we don't have labels, etc. for smaller bottles. So it would end up costing you more to get that smaller bottle. Instead, get the 16-ounce bottle. You'll find other uses for it. Share it with a friend. Have fun. When this car first came in the garage, Nick, not being a car guy, looked at this emblem and said, "What's that?" Well, this is the emblem for a Holden. When you're done applying the adhesion promoter polish, couple sprays of rinseless wash into the pad, run it over your pad washer of choice. Let it dry, be ready for the next time. The fun part, applying the ceramic coating.
Some would call it fun, some would call it rewarding, meditative, some would call it stressful, Ivan. How do you get them their mindset right for this process?
If you're calling it stressful, you're not doing it right. Applying a coating is super easy. I've got 8 to 10 drops on my applicator. And I'm gonna start in the middle of the panel. Normally I box in a panel. We always start in the middle because I want to distribute this on my applicator. And you can see it's way too thick. If you can see application lines, you're putting it on way too thick. So I'm gonna spread that out as far as I can over this hood, getting to the edges and actually going past the edges.
Well, that sounds squeaky. That can't be safe, Ivan.
Perfectly safe, not a problem. That squeakiness is just a byproduct of the foam. But the foam is actually the safest and easiest way to apply a ceramic coating. And since we have C6 app on this vehicle, you can see the coating is just basically going into the paint by itself. Making sure to get all the little angles of this vent, and that's where this applicator really excels, so I can get into all these areas quite easily. And we look at it, it's like an oil slick on water. And when 50% of this is cleared up, that's when Nick starts leveling.
I start leveling because we have instant bond technology, Ivan. I already can tell it started to disappear. And even if it hadn't, we can level right away. So if folks are overthinking it, they can at least rest assured that it'll work no matter what, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Is there a benefit to waiting until the 50% flashes, or should they just go to leveling Town USA?
There is a benefit. That benefit is you're not going to go through more towels. You're not going to get your towels wet. We don't want our towels to get wet. The leveling aspect, what we're doing is actually removing the excess carrier solvents and distributing the coating even better. So when you're leveling, and leveling is an important part of the coating application process. Nick and I once did a vehicle, and when we washed it a little while later, there was a part of the vehicle that wasn't beating. We went back, because we film everything, we went back over the film. We had applied coating there. It's just there was a little box that didn't get leveled. It looked leveled. It was fine. There was no high spots. It was great. But that area that didn't get leveled wasn't beating like the rest of it.
Ivan, that sounds like something you would do, going back, watching the tape, trying to figure out what went wrong. You're always thinking of research and development and improvement and analyzing everything so that we're always moving forward.
Always
right?
improving.
Yeah, because there's going to be people who are going to have questions, and you're going to want to know how to answer those questions. Speaking of questions, if you've got them, leave them in the comment section. They all get answered on YouTube. Or if it's like I want to start mobile detailing today, but what do I need? And what kind of insurance should I get? And should I get a shop or mobile? And I don't know, should I start on a Monday or a Wednesday? When you have 17 different questions, you know where a good spot they can go to is?
DIY Detail on Facebook.
Yep.
We have a great Facebook group there, almost 60,000 people at the time of this recording, and they're all there to help.
I was kind of joking with all those questions, but when you have a litany of questions, there's a whole community of people who might have fascinating answers, and you're going to get 3 different responses from different people, and it kind of helps you have that conversation, you know what I mean? It's like, we can give you the answer specifically on a product,
Yeah,
but sometimes it's more about a conversation.
exactly.
And you can kind of let those conversations breathe when you get to know folks in our DIY Detail Facebook page community. Or all these YouTube videos, they appear as premieres, don't they, Evan?
They do. And when we do a premiere, we're there to chat with you. And we generally have a little over 100 people chatting, asking how the day is going, helping each other out, and just having fun together. It really is a community. Now, when I start hearing my applicator sound dry, I'll just add a couple small drops. You don't need to use a lot of coating. You know, some people think, oh, I have to lay it on thick. You're just wasting your time getting potential high spots, and you're not going to get a better result. Older technology coatings, yes, you need to apply them thick, and you need to maybe go over the same spot 20 times. But with us, it's on, it's leveled, you're good to go. And 1 hour after the coating has been applied, you can actually drive this away in the rain, in the snow, it doesn't matter. And 3 days after, you can wash it.
One specific thing we have to remind the viewers here, Ivan, is that communication is important.
Right.
If it's just you, it's one thing. But if you're working with someone else, kind of calling out where you're headed, where you've been. Sometimes I don't listen, but it's better to say it than not.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do we choose the 8-year ceramic coating?
This customer daily drives this. It's outside, and they intend to keep this car a long time.
Why use an 8-year coating versus a 5-year coating? What if they don't plan on having it for 8 years?
8 years, the most chemically resistant coating we have, the most durable, and the most hydrophobic. So it's gonna self-clean the best. Now, our 5-year is the glossiest one of the bunch. And if you're unfortunately having to park beside a sprinkler, or you have problems with water spotting, that's where a 3-year comes in. But we have 2 other coatings that are sort of the secret sauce. The 5-3 stack and the 8-3 stack. The 5-3 stack gives you amazing gloss and slickness, and the 8-3 stack gives you a wax-like warmth that is just amazing.
I will say, Ivan, I have the 8-3 stack on my personal Jeep, and it is the most phenomenal coating I've ever had. The water beading, the slickness, like 6 months later, it's like the day we did it.
Yeah.
It's great. So I love them all, Ivan, but the stack is a phenomenal choice. We actually sell it together as a bundle. We'll put that in the description just in case you're curious about it.
Now we've done all the uppers, and now time to do the lowers. I start at the front corner here for a reason. Nick and I are both right-handed, so I'm going to the left all the time. I'm applying with my right hand. That way my body isn't in Nick's way as I'm applying the coating. Nick can follow behind and level the coating. So Nick, the door and the mirror, including the face of the mirror. Nick has a history with Holden or Chevy SS mirrors.
A history of just never leveling and then coming back and wondering why there's high spots everywhere. We had to compound it off the beer because I never even touched it. So don't forget that, folks. Leveling's an important step. And the reason we have these two towels, we've done thousands of cars by this point, hundreds of them on camera. You want a short nap towel for that initial leveling pass. I'm always gonna be leveling outside of the lines, right? So up into here, even though I didn't just coat the windows, I'm actually gonna go all the way over that door, below here. And the way this works is we're just leveling the excess coating. We're not actually wiping it away. Whatever might be left, this plush Freebird 400 towel is phenomenal. I'm gonna make sure I go around door handles. I'm gonna make sure I go right into corners of doors where I could possibly leave high spots. I'm gonna triple check that I got that emblem. Basically, I'm trying to go everywhere outside the lines 2 different times. One with the level 1 towel, second time with the Freebird 400, especially around emblems with letters. These long strands, they just tend to do a lot of the work for you in case you left a little excess coating. Just a great way to ensure a high spot free, protected, shiny surface, Ivan. And you don't want your towels to get wet, otherwise you might have to swap this towel out for another one. If you wait the proper, 50% flashing away time, you only need 2 towels to coat an entire vehicle. Then you just put them in your wash bucket, Ivan. Let them soak for 30 minutes or so. Then go ahead and launder them, and you can use these for ceramic coating after ceramic coating. I used to use brand new towels, Ivan, for every coating job. Yeah. Because I liked spending money. I liked
you had
products.
You had a particular goal in your business, and that was to not be profitable.
I was pretty good at that, actually.
Yeah, you know that's one goal you attained spectacularly. So I had a goal of being profitable in my business, and in doing so, I wasn't wasting towels and product and being efficient with my time and with my products.
But guess what? Another goal I had was to one day be the face of a product company.
You
and
reached
I
that.
achieved it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be perfect at everything to achieve your goals, folks. Just never give up on your dreams.
It's always great to have goals in life, and even better when you attain them.
And I always cared about achieving a very high quality result. So I always had passion, right? I just didn't have the efficiency. And so that's where we make a good team, Ivan.
Now you notice I'm folding the applicator. The reason I'm doing that is I want to get in and around these emblems quite deeply, quite easily. And then Nick, especially with the Freebird 400, is gonna get in there and make sure it's all cleaned out.
So like Ivan mentioned, the first pass is gonna be the level 1 towel, right?
Always.
But then with the Freebird 400, I can almost do this without looking.
Yeah.
Just gonna work around the edges, flip, go up, down, left, right.
Yep.
Circle this way, wave the other way. I mean, I'm just giving you an example of this towel will do a lot of the work for you.
Yeah, those nice long strands, they do a great job.
Just coloring within the lines here. I'm gonna let the Freebird 400 with no pressure on the towel, way outside the lines.
Gliding over the surface.
Yep, and like I said, any emblem with letters.
Just go over it in different directions.
Yep.
And the strands will do the job for you. And in case you're wondering, it is a 400 GSM towel. That's where the Freebird 400 comes from. Now, one thing, always be thinking of your body. You can flip your hand the other way inside the applicator to make these lower sections a lot easier to apply. Making sure to get in and around the door handle, including the back side of it, very important. You want to feel that slickness when you're grabbing the handle. We mentioned with the Adhesion promoter polish that you can share with a buddy, share with a friend, a family member. Same thing with the coating bottle. This is enough to do 2 vehicles. So line up 2 vehicles. If you own 2 vehicles, great. If not, get a friend, get a family member. Polish your cars together, coat them together, have fun with it.
It's kind of a fun all-day project if you've never done this before. Plan for a day, doesn't have to be a day, but yeah, between the washing and the decontamination and the polishing, give yourself the afternoon at least, you know, just take your time, enjoy it. I think one mistake folks may make is thinking they can get all this done in a couple hours. Give them a realistic timeline, Ivan, from start to finish.
It really depends on your experience. For us, we will have done this in a couple hours, including filming. But that's not realistic for everyone. We have a system down. We follow the system, and we know where we're going, we know why we're going, and we're organized. That's not given for everyone. Not everyone has a shop. You might be working outside, and yes, the coatings can be applied outside. But realistically, give yourself a day, and it'll probably take less than that. And one thing that stops people from coating their cars, Nick, a lot, is analysis paralysis. They overthink it so much that they never actually do the job.
And that's kind of what holds a lot of people back in a lot of facets of life, Ivan.
Right.
Detailing can be kind of a microcosm of life, can it?
Definitely. But you don't want to overthink it. Just coat your car. It's not that difficult. There's nothing you can screw up. The worst thing that could happen when coating your car is getting a high spot, and a high spot is easily polished off with microfiber towel and a bit of polish on the towel. Just attack that high spot locally, you'll be fine. It used to be that, you know, high spots need to be wet sanded off, and some coatings, yes. But generally speaking, a good quality coating, your high spot will come off with ease within a day or 2. If you leave it for a month, yes, you're gonna be working a little more. So we've already done the hood, but I'm overlapping onto the hood when boxing my fender in, making sure to get past the edges. I went over the headlight there, I'm touching the door, and then filling in with a circular motion. Spreading the coating evenly over the panel, getting in the nice little side gill here, and coming down the stretch, you have the front bumper to do, including the headlights. The applicator makes it easy to get in and around all these little intricate areas. Get the holding crest. One thing that happens to people when they're first applying a coating is they put too much on. And that's why I left the windows till last. The reason for that, if you did apply too much of the paint, running out on the windows is not as big a deal. Running out halfway on the paint, that is a big deal.
Then you call us and say, I need a new bottle shipped. I didn't have enough. And we're like, you should have had enough for 2 cars. I always tell people, save your windows until last.
Yep.
If you're gonna do your wheels, save those until the end.
Right. To me, the windows are more important to coat than the wheels, because wheels, we have quick beads. Every time you wash a car, put some quick beads on the wheels. Now, if you're getting brand new wheels, of course you're gonna coat them. But if your vehicle has experience in life, I wouldn't worry too much about the wheels. So the windows, box the edge, get the moldings while I'm here. Fill in the center, and you can see the rainbow effect of the oil slick on water on the windows.
I like to level by just hitting the corners like I would be cleaning glass. Then I'm kind of inspecting for any high spots or what looks like excess coating. Then I'll box one more time with the Freebird. And I'll just make sure I've got everything covered. Coloring outside the lines, of course. it's gonna be those corners where you're probably gonna leave high spots on windows if it's gonna happen. So I'll always maybe put my finger in there, run it into the corner, and just do one of these. Again, I would never use this technique on paint, but you're gonna be really hard pressed to scratch glass, so. And just outside all the corners again, just triple, double checking that everything is gonna be leveled.
Now doing glass has one advantage. This is the one place I can actually apply a little bit of pressure to my applicator pad. And normally we say don't apply pressure, but the only reason I want to apply pressure here is I'm not applying more product to my pad, but instead, by applying a bit of pressure to the pad, I can work out any remaining ceramic coating that's in the applicator pad, transfer it to the window, and save a bit of product.
Yeah, Ivan, you hate waste. I can see why you'd love this process. Nothing wasted,
Yep.
full efficiency. More coating for the next vehicle.
More coating for the next vehicle, and putting more on doesn't help you. It doesn't make the job better. It doesn't give you a better result. It doesn't make the coating last longer. And I'm still putting coating down. So those initial 8 to 10 drops I put in, those are the 8 to 10 drops I'm working out here. And there we go. Now, when I'm done with the applicator, I'm going to walk around before putting in my wash bucket, inspecting for high spots. If we find any high spots, normally they'll just wipe off. But if need be, you can apply a little more coating to it within an hour or two and just level it off. So when we're looking at high spots, what we're looking for is whenever there's panel intersections, whenever there's emblems, mirrors, door handles, anything that's an intersection, that's where you're wanting to use extra caution. Take a look, like around these, around the roof rack, we could look for high spots. There's no high spots. Around the windows, the corners, anywhere around the spoiler here. These are all areas that a high spot could happen.
Even on the chrome or on the windows,
Yeah.
just double, triple checking there. Ivan, this is so easy to level. It's so easy to coat. Professional grade products with
Yeah.
the DIYer in mind.
Right, and the last thing, any detail, get some tire dressing on there. The brush makes it easy. Now we have a beautifully detailed, coated, and protected car. If they want to see a car, Nick, that really wasn't protected and definitely needed a detail, there's one. I think it's right up here.